Have you ever felt afraid to do something very difficult? Something so big that you thought, I can't do this. Maybe it was a school task, or even trying something new that seemed scary. Now, imagine being chosen to lead an entire nation, facing challenges like crossing dangerous rivers and conquering huge cities. It sounds like an impossible job, doesn't it? That's exactly what happened to Joshua. After the death of Moses, the great leader of Israel, God spoke to Joshua, a courageous man who also had doubts. God said, "Joshua, now it's your turn. I have chosen you to lead my people to the promised land. You will be the new leader of Israel." Joshua knew this mission would be very difficult. He thought, am I capable of leading so many people? What if I fail? What if I can't do it? But God understood what Joshua was feeling and gave him a message of strength. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for I will be with you wherever you go. These words from God changed everything for Joshua. He realized he didn't have to face this mission alone. God was with him, ready to help every step of the way. It wasn't about being perfect or fearless. It was about trusting God, even when the challenges seemed overwhelming. With God's words in his heart, Joshua stood up and decided to lead. He didn't wait for things to happen, but took the initiative and prepared for the challenges ahead. The people of Israel had spent many years in the desert, waiting for the promised land. But now Joshua knew it was time to act. He had courage because he knew God was with him. The first major challenge was crossing the Jordan River. The river was full of water and seemed impossible to cross, but Joshua, full of faith, did as God instructed. He told the people to trust in God, and when the priests touched the water with the Ark of the Covenant, the river opened, allowing everyone to cross safely. Joshua saw that God was fulfilling his promise, but Joshua's challenges didn't stop there. The next big city they had to conquer was Jericho, with its massive fortified walls. The people of Israel were scared again, but Joshua, with courage and faith, followed God's instructions. God gave him an unusual strategy: march around the city for 7 days, blowing trumpets. On the 7th day, the walls of Jericho fell, and Israel conquered the city. It wasn't through the army's strength, but through God's power. Joshua remembered God's words, "Be strong and courageous. I am with you." He knew that even in the most difficult moments, God was by his side. Every victory Joshua achieved showed that trusting God always brings results. Joshua wasn't a perfect leader. He also had moments of doubt and tough challenges, but he always remembered what God had said: "Be strong and courageous." He knew that true strength didn't come from himself, but from trusting in God. Have you ever had a moment where you felt afraid, like Joshua? Maybe at school, at home, or when facing something new. Remember God's words to Joshua: "I will be with you wherever you go." This means God never leaves us alone. When we face difficulties, we can trust that He is with us, giving us courage, strength, and wisdom. Just like Joshua, you can also be brave and strong not because you're never afraid, but because you trust that God is by your side. If you ever feel scared to do something, remember Joshua. Remember that God is always with you, guiding and helping, ready to give you courage. So the next time you face something difficult like Joshua, stand up with confidence and say to yourself, "I am strong and courageous because God is with me."